This all seems really complicated, and, well, it is. Because the principles of music theory we know today were laid down by people several centuries ago who were Germans and Italians, who either overdo everything or do everything as flamboyantly as possible. Whether this is good or bad can vary, but in terms of music, it's just f***ing annoying, because it makes music theory very hard to learn in modern times if you stick to the original methods, such as being taught what order the keys in the circle of fifths go, which notes get added each time, and just being expected to memorize it. And that isn't easy. So thank God you don't have to do that. With this simple, easy tutorial, you can learn how to work out every element of the circle of fifths using one method. Yes, one method. I call it the tone, semitone, tone method, or TST for short. Quick interlude if you don't know what a tone or a semitone is. A tone or a semitone is the interval or distance between two given notes. For example, going from a white note to another white note with a black note in between is a tone, whereas going from a white note to a black note is a semitone. Going from a white note to another white note without a black note in between is also a semitone. This can only happen on 2 points of an octave, B to C or C to B, and E to F or F to E. Back to the circle of fifths. For the TST method, you only need to know 3 things. Work clockwise, start with sharps, then switch to flats at the 6 o'clock point, and C major and A minor go at the top, being the only 2 keys to have no accidentals. Another quick interlude if you don't know what an accidental is. An accidental is a note that is either a sharp or a flat, such as A sharp or B flat, which, in turn, are the same note but with different names. The reason for this will soon become clear. Don't get confused, not all accidentals are the same notes. F sharp is not the same as E flat, for instance. 4 white notes can also become accidentals if 2 notes beginning with the same letter appear in the same key, which is another rule set by the flamboyant Italians. These notes are B and C, E and F. B can become C flat, C can become B sharp, and E can become F flat, and F can become E sharp. This is because these pairs of notes have only a semitone interval, which, hopefully, you should understand the meaning of by now. Back to the circle of fifths once more. Now that we have these 3 pieces of information, work clockwise, start with sharps and switch to flats at the 6 o'clock point, and C major and A minor go at the top, we should be able to start. But before that, one last quick interlude, if you don't know what a relative minor is. Every key has a corresponding relative minor. Every major key has a corresponding relative minor. What a relative minor is a minor key sharing the exact same notes as a major key. That being the key this is the relative minor of. For example, A minor is the relative minor of C major, sharing the exact same notes as C major, but in a different order. For instance, instead of starting on C, A minor starts on A. C major runs C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. A minor runs A, B, C, D, E, F, G, back to A again. So, yep, same notes, different order, and that's what a relative minor is. Now back to the TST method. Starting with C major and its relative minor of A minor, we can begin applying the steps of the method. Step 1. Start by counting back 1 tone from the root note of the relative minor. Starting on C major, relative minor is A minor, and the root note of that is A. And this gives us the root note of the next major key. Step 2. Count back 1 semitone from the root note of the new major key, and that will give you the new note that is added to this key, replacing the note 1 semitone below it. Step 3. Count back 1 tone from the new note added to this key, and that gives us the root note of this key's relative minor. Step 4. Repeat until you get to F sharp major at the bottom half of the circle of fifths. Step 5. Once you have F sharp major worked out, change it to G flat major, which is exactly the same key, but with each sharp accidental now becoming its equivalent flat. F sharp becomes G flat, for example. But be careful, E sharp does not become F flat, it becomes F natural, and B natural becomes C flat. Step 6. Repeat the TST method until you reach the top, C major. Only now we're adding naturals instead of sharps. And there we have it! One method to work out the entirety of the circle of fifths without any unnecessary fuss or flamboyancy.